Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Stannis here, and today we're going to look into my portfolio. So I just recently hit $100,000 in my Robinhood account. Check out the previous video to see how I did it. But today we're going to look into all the stocks that I have been investing into lately. And I'm going to talk about some of the stocks that I'm going to continue to keep and some of the stocks that I might get rid of down the line, because I'm trying to focus a lot of my stock into tech right now, and I'm just trying to maintain some dividend stocks. And there might be some stocks in my portfolio that I want to get rid of, but I'll go through every single one of my stocks. We'll talk about a little bit. Let me know if you're in some of the same stocks as I am, or if you're gonna plan on going into some of the stocks that I'm currently in. Yeah, so let's just look over my account right now. So currently at $110,000, which is pretty insane. I haven't really invested in like a month or two. That's why my buying power is like pretty high. I did invest into like PayPal and Palantir, like probably like $500 here and there. But other than that, I haven't really put too much into buying stocks. What you see right here, this like pretty much this $10,000 gain over the past month is pretty much from the stock market just going insanely up. Like if we look at the fear and greed index right here, you can see that we're at an extreme greed. That's why I'm kind of holding off on buying stuff. I kind of want to buy closer to when we're in the fear or extreme fear. Hopefully like in 3-ish or 4-ish months, by the time I'll be buying into more stocks, or I'll just be buying into stocks that are already low. Something like PayPal. As you can see, the overall time, we're almost up 40%, which is just nuts, honestly. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm sure other accounts are a lot higher, but this, I feel like I haven't been too risky in my accounts, and I've earned a pretty decent amount of money, so I'm pretty happy with it. All right, let's hop into my first stock, which is Meta. Meta has actually earned me the most amount of money of any stocks in my account. It's pretty crazy because over last year it was pretty low. Nobody wanted to buy into it, but everybody started buying into it as soon as like they realized what they were doing. Closer to 2022, I was buying into it. It was a huge dip back then, and eventually it just came really low and popped right back up. And now it's one of the top stocks. As you see, my average is 144. I haven't really bought into the stock since because it skyrocketed. It kind of already did my job of buying into the stock when it was low, and just kind of reap the rewards now. We've gone almost 15K worth of gains from Meta, which is pretty insane. And I think they're about to start having a dividend, which is pretty sweet. They currently do not have a dividend. Let me see if I can find it. But I've heard that they're supposed to have a dividend soon, so looking forward to that. So Amazon has actually started to pay off. If you look back into my older videos, you could see that Amazon was doing absolutely nothing for me. It was pretty much just staying around 120, and I was not getting anything from it pretty much. But it's at 170 now, actually making a pretty decent profit from it. I haven't really put too much since. I haven't put too much money since 2022, kind of just letting that ride. But I'm pretty happy where it's at right now. And PayPal, all right, so PayPal is a big one. I have been investing a lot of money into PayPal. Currently I have almost $9,000 into it. I'm down 5%, which is not that much compared to the amount of money I have in, but this is a similar story to Meta. Same thing as it goes with Meta. Meta was pretty high back in 2021, dropped off, and PayPal has stayed in the gutter. I'm just kind of looking forward to see if it continues to raise up or not. Today they released earnings. I haven't really looked too much into the earnings call, but they did beat earnings today. Yeah, PayPal could definitely be a high earner for me. We're just gonna have to wait and see, but I'm definitely gonna continue buying more if it drops below 60. If it goes up to 65, I'll probably just wait a little bit. All right, Google, Alphabet. This is the top tier stock, one of the top 7 tech stocks that everybody invests into and that have been going crazy lately. I haven't earned too much money from them. I only earned about $1,500 from them. Like a lot of my other stocks, I'm gonna continue to let it ride. I don't really sell any stocks. I just kind of buy into these like really top tier companies and just let it ride. That's what I have been doing for the past like 4 years. That's what I'm going to continue to do for the foreseeable future. Other than that, like, I'm just gonna let Alphabet ride, not really put too much more into there. Palantir, all right, that's a big one. So I was actually looking at options in Palantir, and I was just thinking about selling my whole entire portfolio of 100K and just throwing it all into Palantir. And man, I'll tell you what, I would have hit. I would have made like $1 million off the option I was looking at. But if I were to lose on my option, then I would have lost like 100K or close to. So I didn't do it, but hey, maybe next time. We'll see. I probably won't do it. Like, it's too much risk for me. But yeah, Palantir, it's starting to go up a lot more. I do have a lot of shares into it. I currently have like almost $8,000 worth of Palantir. They beat earnings by 1 cent. Palantir is a very exciting company. I hope they continue to see success, but I would like them to come down to closer to my average, around like 14 or 16, so I can just continue buying them. Hey, if we find like a new ground level close to like 2025, I'd be pretty happy with that too. I would take a lot of profit from Palantir, but this is one of the stocks that it's pretty much Palantir and PayPal that I'm looking into heavily. These stocks, I feel like they're going to be the most advantageous to actually making a lot of money, but they also hold the most risk. But my portfolio is pretty diversified across the top tier tech stocks. I'm not really too scared of losing too much amount of money. Microsoft, another top tier tech company. I haven't really put a lot more money into it. As you can see, I made like almost 80% return off my initial investment, almost making like $3,000 from it. Year to date, it has popped off. And over the past year, same thing. I don't know if we're ever going to see close to 200 again from Microsoft. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But if we do, or we see a nice decent dip, I'm definitely going to buy into it. Actually, Tesla's another stock that I'm interested in buying into, but I want to see closer to like 160, which is close to my average cost. I don't really want to put too much money into 187, but we have been dipping over the past year. It has been going down, or it's been close. It's a nice little valley. I don't know if I'll be investing into it like this month and next month, but if it continues to go down, I'll definitely throw probably a couple hundred into it. Hopefully someday I'm able to buy a Tesla, probably like a Model Y or Model S, I don't know. Alibaba, this is another stock that carries a lot of risk with it, just due to it being out of the country and not an American company. But I do see potential in this company. They're pretty solid, but they're probably going to deal with a lot of relations in China first before the stock market realizes Alibaba as a really valuable stock. But I'm here to stay for it. As you can see, this is probably like one of my biggest losers at the moment. We're down 26%. I might realize this loss, but I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid if I sell it and within those 30 days of keeping out of the stock that Alibaba will go up. So that's why I don't really want to sell out of it and then realize that loss. Though I'm just going to continue investing into it. If it goes around to like 60s, I'll probably put some more money into it. Nvidia. Okay, this stock is definitely leading the way in the top tier tech companies, because this stock has just continued to go up like almost every single week. The stock just continues to go up and up. It's pretty crazy. Like over the past month, it's up like 40%. 3 months, 50. This year's been crazy for Nvidia, honestly. And the crazy thing is, like, I didn't even invest that much money into it. I invested it when it was close to like right here, near the bottom, like 160s, and I should have bought more, but it's one of those things that happen to investors when a stock is really low. They're like, oh, how low can it go? I don't want to buy too low. I don't want to buy into losing stock. But hey, this was not losing stock. As you can see, it's up like 200% over the past year, which is insane. As my average cost was 166, only like 5 shares of it. You can see I've tripled my money on it. I made $3,000 off Nvidia, and not much thought went into buying Nvidia. I just saw like a decent price for it. I'm like, hey, yeah, I want some Nvidia in my portfolio. Now I'm up $3,000 for it. And they also offer a dividend. It's a small dividend, but hey, I'll take it. Apple stock. All right, Apple is one of the top tier tech stocks as well. I wanted to buy a lot more of this back in the day, but as you can see, Apple just continues to go up. I was trying to buy it closer to my average cost. Now we're like almost like $90 above my average cost. So I feel like Apple's almost out of reach for me to buy back into. The original amount of money I put into was around like $1,500. I made around almost $1,500 from this stock, but I'm just waiting for this stock to go down, but it's just not going down. Like, this is insane. I don't know if we're ever going to see 130 again. Like, this stock just continues to go up. It's pretty solid. It's like the most loved stock in the stock market. Hey, I'm here. I'm ready to buy. I got like $9,000 in buying power. I want to buy some Apple, but let's see if the stock market's going to give it to me and they're going to lower the price and I'm going to be able to invest into it. All right, Disney. Actually, Disney, I'm actually making some money on it now, which is kind of surprising. Average cost is $96. Made around like $250. They released earnings today as well, and I think they beat on earnings. Yeah. So estimated was 99 cents, and they made $1.22 per share, which is quite a substantial beat. Similar to Meta and PayPal, they have a similar history of it booming back in 2021 and dying off. I do believe the parks are going to continue to make a lot of money, and that Disney Plus is going to be substantial for Disney. But we're just going to have to wait and see. We are seeing a nice inflection right here. I don't know, we could raise up to like 130 or something. That'd be pretty cool. But this is like kind of another stock that I'm just going to hold on to. So they have a dividend of 0.3, which is pretty decent. So I don't have a lot of dividend stocks. So the stocks that do give me a dividend, I do like to keep. Especially if I bought the stock at a decent price, which is like 96. So I'm going to continue to keep this stock, and I'm going to let it ride. Okay, JP Morgan Chase is one of my favorite banks. I own like 3 of their cards. I got the Chase Reserve, Chase Freedom Flex, and Chase Freedom Unlimited. I love all those cards. If you're interested in Chase cards, I'll have them linked in the description. Yeah, I do believe Chase is one of the top tier companies to actually get credit cards from. I put a decent amount of money into this stock. I probably should a little bit more because they do provide a dividend, but I'm currently making like $500 off them. My average cost was like $127. Over the past 5 years, it's been pretty decent. This was close to what I was buying at. They offer a pretty decent dividend of 2.34%. I just love getting dividends from them because I know I have a decent amount of money with them. So every single time I get a dividend, I just love to see it. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, or TSM. I have actually a decent amount of money with them. I haven't really bought too much more of them since I invested like a year ago, but this is still pretty solid. My average cost is 78, making me around like $700. They're doing pretty good this year. They're just continuing to make chips, and I haven't heard too much stuff about Taiwan, so let's see if it's gonna continue to stay like that. If it does, then I could probably see TSM continue to do pretty well. And as you guys know, the shortage isn't as bad as it was in like 2021 or 2020. This is just another stock I'm going to continue to keep. They offer a dividend, which is 1.21%. And that's pretty decent as well for I would consider a growth company. Coca-Cola, another dividend stock that I'll probably just own for the rest of my life. I got in around like $49. It's a pretty decent entry. I have close to $1,500 into it, and I made around like $260. But also, their dividend is pretty high, so it's at 3%, which is one of the more higher percent yields out of all the dividend yielding stocks I have in my portfolio, especially since my portfolio is more leaning towards tech stocks. Stocks like Coca-Cola, I just won't sell them. I'm just going to continue to keep them probably indefinitely. All right, Shopify. Honestly, these are one of the stocks that I probably will sell. I am making a profit of $330, but I don't feel that strongly with Shopify, so that's why I kind of want to get out of it. Kind of a similar story to PayPal, Meta, and some of those stocks that have yet to come back from their 2021 highs. Yeah, I'm just not too confident in Shopify. That's why I kind of want to get out of it. Probably just put the rest of my money into a PayPal or Palantir. I don't know if we're going to sell it just yet, because I do own a decent share. I do have a decent average cost right now, so part of me kind of wants to wait until it hits like 150-ish. I don't know if we're gonna see that level again. Maybe 100. I don't know if it's worthwhile to wait and see. Might be a good time to get out, see some profit, and just reinvest into other stocks. All right, Tencent. All right, another Chinese stock. This is kind of goes hand in hand with Alibaba, and I am losing a little bit of money, similar to Alibaba, but I think I'm actually going to buy a little bit more of this. If it continues to go down, probably around 35, 30. I don't know if we're going to see that level again. Let's take a look. Yeah, we might see that level again. We'll see. Another solid company, just kind of put down from the current relations with China right now. But they do offer a dividend yield, which is 0.72, which is kind of small, but it's pretty decent. As you can see, the analyst ratings offer like 94%. This stock right here is kind of a sleeper stock. Kind of just have to wait around and see if it's actually going to hit like down the line. I might be holding this stock for quite some time before I actually see any significant growth from it, similar with Alibaba. But I'm going to continue to hold on to Tencent. All right, Pfizer. All right, Pfizer has had a rough year so far. They're down like 37%. My average is 33, so I am down the stock by 17%, but they do offer a nice dividend of 6%. I'm going to continue buying into Pfizer. They're going through hard times right now, but I do believe they're going to come back to the top because they are a solid healthcare company, and they're quite well known. I'm not too afraid of this stock going down to zero, especially since it's really established. Are we ever going to see these levels of 50 again? Maybe. I can definitely see like 35 or 30, but like I said, Pfizer is a pretty solid dividend company. For example, as you can see over the upcoming month, I'm going to get like $15 from Pfizer just for owning the stock. AT&T. Okay, this was kind of a Hail Mary stock, I'm not going to lie. As you can see over the chart, it just dropped significantly, and it's just been down for a long time. So I felt like my average price pretty much was like around $15.66, was pretty low for this stock when the average is probably close to around 20. And I know it's a dividend stock and they offer a pretty decent dividend, so I bought in at that time. I made around like $100 from it, so it's not significant, but the dividend is 6.3%. And yeah, I'm not gonna sell this stock. I feel like I got in at a pretty cheap price. Close to the bottom is around like 15. And I got in around $15.66, which is pretty good, especially since I'm getting dividends from the stock. As far as AT&T and their future growth is probably not going to be that great, but they're already established. As far as them getting surpassed by other companies, it might take a long time. Having the foundations already set does make it a lot easier for them to move around eventually later on if they decide to actually take this company and expand with it. Alright, yeah, I do own the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. This is pretty much just tracks the S&P 500. Not too much to talk about this one. I have about $1,000 into it. The average cost is $4.11, which is not the best, but I am making a small amount of money on it. And they do give me a dividend. Let's see how much they give me. I don't even know. 30-day yield is 1.39. Yeah, not really much to talk about this. It's kind of just allows me to have a little more diversity in my portfolio, especially since a lot of it's in tech. And even though like most of this ETF is tech, as you can see, like 29% of it is tech, but it does offer some other sectors that. Okay, Intel. I've had this stock. This is probably like one of the first stocks I ever owned in my Robinhood account. I just haven't really gone around to selling it. I don't think I'm going to get around to selling it, especially since the government's putting a lot of money into United States-based chip manufacturing. I feel like I got a pretty decent average of 37. As you can see, it has dipped to like 25 or like pretty low 30s. Right now we're making money, and they do offer a dividend, so I'm just gonna continue to keep it. Wells Fargo. I don't have any Wells Fargo credit cards or any cards with them at all, but I do invest into them. My average cost is around 31, and it's currently at 48, so I'm making a decent profit, around $340. And they do offer a nice dividend of 2.69%. CVS. All right, I'm making a little bit of money on this stock. I am making a little bit of money on this stock. I don't really plan on investing too much more into this stock, but if it continues to go down, they're going to force my hand. I'm going to buy into it, because if I see a good deal, I'm going to have to just spend some money into it, especially when it comes to dividend stocks. Their dividend is 3.36%, which is pretty mid, but it's actually pretty high compared to like tech stocks. All right, so we finally got to the gas companies. ExxonMobil, my average is at 55. And currently at 102. Have made quite a bit of profit from this company, but I haven't really put too much money into it, especially since it's kind of just skyrocketed over the past 5 years. This was my entry point close to, and I just haven't really wanted to buy back into this stock since, especially since kind of like it seems like it's back to this normal level. Doesn't really seem like it's gonna drop anytime soon or go up. I don't want to buy more of it. Their dividend yield is 3.60%. Adobe. All right, I only got one share of Adobe. These were kind of one of those stocks that I kind of wish I put a little bit more money into, but at the time, wasn't really planning on putting a significant amount of money into it. But it did actually work out. I pretty much doubled my money into the stock. Got an 88% return of it. They do not offer a dividend, but I do like where I'm at with this company. I probably do not plan on selling it. If I do, I would make like $300, which I feel like it's pretty decent. All right, McDonald's. This is another stock that I've pretty much owned the entirety of my portfolio. My average cost is at $2.21. They do offer a pretty decent dividend of 2.19%. Not really too much to add about McDonald's, is that they're just the superpower. They're everywhere in the world, and kind of want to be invested in that. Do I see them going parabolic over the next like year or 5 years? Probably not, but I just feel like it's pretty good for me to stay in this company and just continue to reap the dividends. And if I do see opportunity, I'll invest into it. So Chevron, similar to Exxon, I bought into it when it was at a dip and haven't really bought into it since. They do offer a pretty decent dividend of 3.96%, and I just collect dividends from them. That's about it. This is another stock that I've had pretty much the lifetime of my Robinhood account. Average is at 25. Made a little bit of money from the stock at $77, but the dividends at 2.78%. I don't have too many dividend giving stocks, so I'm just going to continue to keep this one. All right, SoFi, it's actually pretty interesting. Another bank, but this is the online bank. Their previous earnings actually pretty decent. They actually made money on it. So they made 2 cents per share, actually beating expectations. Yeah, but SoFi has seen some interest, especially after the earnings. It did actually happen to go up to like $9 and come back down to around like $7.68. I will continue to invest into SoFi, especially if it drops down to around like a high $6 or a low $7, just depending on where I'm at with everything else. But this is a potential company that I could see myself putting a lot more money into, especially if their earnings continue to be pretty decent. All right, as we get closer to the bottom of my portfolio, I have obviously less money into them. Ford only got like $200 into it. Average share is $11.54, making a decent profit. They also offer a dividend of 10.36%, which is the highest, I'm pretty sure, of all my portfolio, which is pretty insane. That's kind of a bad sign. I probably should get out of Ford, but I'm just let that stock ride. I have $209 in Johnson & Johnson. I am down actually on this stock, which is kind of insane. But I'm going to continue to hold on to it. They offered decent dividend of $2.97. They continue to go down. I'll probably put more money into it. I don't know if they're going to reach like 140s again, but we'll see. And of course, Robinhood. I actually invest into Robinhood. I would like to see Robinhood become profitable. If Robinhood becomes profitable, then that'll be a pretty good time to actually see this stock go up. That'd probably be the time where we actually see the stock going up, is when it becomes profitable. As you can see, it just kind of dropped down to these like 10 to 11 range and just stayed here, especially over 2022. But off the IPO, they did hit 55, which is pretty high. Will we see that range again? I don't know, but yeah, that's the portfolio, guys. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have similar stock interests, or you saw a stock that you might be willing to take a look into and possibly invest into. All right, we're currently up an insane amount in the Robinhood account portfolio. Hopefully it continues to go like this for like the next 2 to 3 months. I'd be pretty happy about that. But if it doesn't, hey, I'll be here ready to buy. I got like $8,000 worth of buying power, and then over the next upcoming months, I'll probably add some more to my buying power, just depending on what the stock market gives me and if I could see a decent entry for any stocks I'm interested into. That's about it for me. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Peace out.